Hi guys, Ann here, and today we have a little sit down, kind of like a coffee talk without the coffee. We have Nala way over here. She's a little pissed off at me because Tyler, my oldest son, he is puppy sitting for his friend, and Nala's pissed off because I won't let her go downstairs with the puppy. No, I won't. So she's a little upset with me. So she's here, she's just lying over there, having a little hissy fit, but that's okay. There's a little puppy. Tyler's dog sitting for her. And Nala's being a pain in the butt. Aww. Good girl, Nala. Hey, puppy. Hi, puppy. She's like, if you don't get that camera out of my face. As I'm filming this, I did just do a few videos for my beauty channel, and it's like 2 o'clock. Hopefully I can edit this and get it up today. Today's Sunday, but I don't know if I can. And my Eagles is playing, and they're losing. Let me look. I haven't looked for a while. Let me see. They're still losing 14-7 to the Commanders, and we were 3-0. You damn Commanders. Anyway, so let me know how you guys are doing down below. I want to thank, what I was doing with my hands. I want to thank all of you guys for my last video that I had put about my final video, about my divorce, and just, like my feelings and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate all your kind comments. It really means the world to me. It really, really does to know I have so much support. And in that video, I shared at the end, about that I'm not going to settle anymore, because I did settle. I settled for 11 years, and I don't want to settle anymore. And I talked about, I also settled with friends, with having friendships. And I thought that is a great video, like a topic to talk about, because a lot of us do that. So really quickly, I'll just go over really quick. So I am going through a divorce. I am separated from my husband, but I'm still legally married right now. But hopefully everything will go through very soon. And I shared on there that I settled. I really did. When I met my husband, I think I was 35 or 36, okay? And I never was married. I had 3 kids by 3 different men. I was living in the low income apartments, and I was very depressed, lonely. I didn't trust people. I didn't have any friends. My choice. I didn't trust people. But I was okay being by myself. I was happy. I was depressed to a point where I just I wasn't happy with my life. I wanted better for myself and my children. But I was happy, if that makes sense. I was content, put it that way. I had enough money where every Friday, me and my kids would go out to eat. So one weekend, Tyler will pick, the next weekend Lexi would pick, the next weekend Isaiah would pick, all that stuff. So I was able to get my kids toys, and I kind of spoiled them and kind of bought them things because of the guilt that I had. Now as they're adults, they shared with me, Mom, we had a good childhood. We had everything we needed, everything we wanted. They always said we were so blessed. We had more than what most kids had living out there. And sometimes I think we have guilt as parents or as mothers or what have you, maybe as grandmothers or whatever, and we always think it's not enough, and we wish it could be better. We wish, maybe they had a father figure or what have you. But my kids were happy. They were content. It was me that, felt so guilty, right? And sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. So when I say that, every child needs a father. Don't get me wrong. I always say, especially if you have a little girl, right? Because girls, that is their first love. That will help. I think that what stands, what young woman puts up with in their life, or what they go after. For me, I didn't have a father, right? My father died when I was 6. Then my mom had one boyfriend, which was not good, and they only lasted a year or 2, what have you. I think I was 13 or 14 when they broke up, and then my mom never dated again. But I always yearned for that father figure, that protector, because I don't remember my father, and The first guy that told me they loved me, I was like, ooh, and then I got pregnant 4 months later. I was 18 and pregnant, and I wanted that white picket fence, the mother, the family that I didn't have. And, I think when a little girl has their father, like a good father in their life, like with Lexi, she's not out there searching to have a kid and for that love and all that other kind of stuff. You know what I mean? She's 23 years old now. I mean, she's in she's been with this guy now for 9 months. She's in a serious relationship, but she's like, I don't want any kids. She's not looking for that love, if that makes sense, to satisfy her, to fill her needs. I don't know. She's not settling. And so I do think it's an appointment and important. And I do think, and every boy needs a father, because I can teach my boys a lot of things, but I can't teach them how to be men. Right? Only a man can do that. So I do think that they need a father figure. But I also think sometimes they're better without, because I went for my husband, who I settled, who really had no relationship with my kids, and they were miserable. They would have been better off just with me. I feel like they had an unhappy childhood because they were miserable. Does that make sense? So sometimes the grass is not greener on the side is what I'm saying. I settled. And if you want to watch more of what I'm saying about that and how I feel, I will leave that video down below. Just in case you're new, let's talk about a little bit like with my upbringing, so you can kind of understand then why I felt the need of, I needed to have friends. So like I stated, my father died when I was 6. He was an addict, and my mother was. And as I got older, she wasn't on the hard stuff, but she was definitely addicted to pills. Any type of pills. I knew my mother loved me. We never went without. Like, the lights didn't get cut off. We didn't go to bed hungry. It was nothing like that. But, I didn't have I never had name brand shoes. I got picked on in high school. So, my friends would let me, if I slept over their house, I'd wear their sneakers. That's when Feli's and Pumas and, of course, Nikes and all that were real popular, I never owned a pair of jeans. It was always sweatpants. I didn't want to hurt my mom's feelings, so I used to say, I like wearing sweatpants, and it was the green, the red, all that. But, it was embarrassing. Back then, when you were on Medicaid, everybody knew what Medicaid kids were, because the glasses were like the big ones. It wasn't like now where you can't even tell. And so I got picked on a lot. And I had curly hair that my mom didn't really know what to do. So my hair was frizzy, and I had pimples, and my mom couldn't afford to take me, to the dermatologist or anything. So she tried to get me stuff over the counter, I think it was Clearasil or something like that, which didn't do anything. And so I started becoming the class clown, because then people laughed and they didn't pickle me as much. And really they were laughing at me, not with me. But I didn't know that at the time. And then I started misbehaving in school. And then I started hanging around the wrong crowd, because then they were scared of my friends. They weren't really scared of me. They were scared of my friends. They didn't pick on me. And I thought that was cool. I liked the fact that everybody was like, hey, Ann, wanted to be my friend. And I am a very, I'm a people's person. I like being around people. I'm very outgoing. If I go somewhere, I always wanted the center of attention. I was that type of person. But then I also grew up with my mother and grandmother that would talk about loyalty. And my grandmother used to always say, Ann, when you die, all you have is your word. Your word is your word. Your word is bond. And so I grew up with that mentality that you don't rat, you don't snitch, you are loyal, all that stuff. And I just assumed everybody else was like that. I was very naive as well. And then at 7, when I got pregnant, I got kicked out of the house. So I moved in with my son's father. So, when you're young like that, have your own place, can do what you want. So that's what I did. I partied, hung with the wrong people, and I got the attention that I felt like I didn't have growing up. I only had my brother. I didn't have a big family. And when I started dating outside my race, my brother was like, and a lot of my family as well, even to this day. So that was another thing, when you don't have family. When I tell you I have no family, I have no family. And I'm always going to choose my kids, right? So that was another thing. So I felt like having people in my life, regardless if they were good for me or not, I settled, and I was okay with that. I had got a felony charge for a gun. Unlawful use, unlawful possession. That's a long story. I was sentenced to 4 years. I did 4.5 months in the county and got out on an ISP program. Now, this was in the 90s, okay? And I learned right then and there, like, people aren't loyal. I had people that were I was never in a gang, but all my friends were, right? And I learned real quick they are cowards. When it comes to them going to jail, they will rat on you or lie on you in a heartbeat. And these were like thugs, okay? Like this one guy, he called himself suicide because he, like, oh my God, he did all these drive-bys and all this other kind of stuff, like these hard people. And like they were cowards. They were scared to go to jail. And I changed my life. So in the late 90s, I kind of like washed my hands away from people. And I still partied here and there. I lived in the projects. So like on the weekends or what have you. Let's just keep it real. But I hung at home. And for the longest time, I didn't have people in my life. Okay. And I was content. I really was. And then, and I think I was content because when I was living in the projects, there was always people around. I could sit outside. People came around, sat outside with me. If I seen people outside, I'd sit outside with them. And it was kind of like that. So it wasn't like I was totally alone, but I wasn't doing the stuff I was doing as far as going out partying. Does that make sense? So I'm thinking, it's okay. And then once I met my husband and got married and all that then that changed, Then I was more of a homebody. So moving forward, I started YouTube, and I was watching YouTube for about 6 months before I started my own channel. And this was a new thing for me because like I didn't have like chat rooms. I wasn't tech savvy. I never had MySpace. So all this chatting and all this was like new for me. And because I wasn't in a good marriage, because I felt lonely and I didn't have friends, and it was nice to talk to people and YouTubers and different things. And then, I started going into the beauty box community and started getting subscription boxes, starting to wear makeup, feeling better about myself, the whole nine. And then February 2017, I started my channel. But like I wanted to be friends with everybody, every YouTuber, every this. It felt good. It felt good to be able to talk to people, And then of course when I made friends, because I didn't have friends for so long, I was like venting and sharing my life, and within the first 30 minutes, you knew how many people I slept with, and I would just, because it was fun to me and nice to have somebody there. And I settled. I remember people, like, if they would do live streams, I would stay up to 2, 3 in the morning on their live streams and supporting their channel. Just doing that because that's what you do. They wanted to grow. I wanted to help support them. Anytime any of my friends, right, that put a video out, within minutes, I was there watching it, liking it, commenting, because I wanted to support them, to help them grow. And the problem is I trust too easy. And that's the thing. And maybe I was needy. I don't know. Maybe I was too needy. And if anybody got mad with me, I was quick to say, I'm sorry. And I meant it, but I didn't like anybody mad with me. I didn't want anybody mad with me. I didn't want anybody upset with me. Because it would make me feel bad. So even if I didn't feel I did anything wrong or didn't know what I did wrong, I'm like, well, I'm sorry, right? And I felt myself changing again, like I did in my marriage, who I was, changing for my friends so they wouldn't be mad. And I didn't realize I was settling. I mean, right now, I have great friends. Don't get me wrong. Especially these 2 friends that I have, Lisa and Jody. Oh my God. I don't know what I would do without them. They are like my best friends, And then I have other friends. But then I realized, my grandmother used to always say, Ann, when you die, you're going to count on one hand, if you can count that many, how many true friends that you really ever had. And I didn't get it because I told you, I thought everybody was my friend. And then I soon realized you might have a best friend here and there. You have friends, and then you have what you call associates. And in my life, they weren't friends. They were associates. You know what I mean? And I learned that as soon as you talk to people, you have to get them to earn your trust. I just trust it right away. I figured, well, I trust until they do something to me. But I did. I realized I thought everybody was like me. Everybody was loyal. Everybody and I learned that the hard way. Yes, I did. And if I was upset with you, I'm telling you right away what you did to me. I didn't realize people hold things in and hold grudges and talk about you behind your back, and then or they just stop being your friend because, and it's what? Because when you're my friend, let's talk this out. What's going on? I settled. And sometimes I think about it, why did I settle so much? With men, with friends, what? Maybe it was a self-esteem with me. And that's why I said, in my last video, I need to work on me. Figure out why I felt like I needed people around. Because I'm at the point now where I'm happy the way that I am. I'm happy with the friends that I got, the people that, I am happy if I can talk to somebody once a week now, or once every 2 weeks. I might say, hey, how are you? I haven't heard from you. Let me know you're okay. Whatever the case may be. How are the kids? I'm okay. Before it was I had to talk every day or what have you, I'm okay. I am okay with just going downstairs, cleaning the house, working on my yard, with my dogs, with my children. I am okay. I don't have to talk to people. I can go days without talking to anybody. I am okay. Because I'm at the point in my life, I'm not settling. I'm not settling for friends. I'm not settling for relationships. I'm not settling for disrespect. I am not settling anymore. I'm still going to be true to me. When you're my friend or an associate, I'm going to be there. If you need me, if you need something, I'm right there. But I'm also the type, I don't need you in my life. If you want to go, go. I am okay with letting go now. I had a hard time letting go. That was my issue. It was hard to let go. Does that make sense? Let me know if you guys know what I mean. And have you guys ever just settled because you just didn't want to be by yourself? So even if you were treated badly or what have you, or maybe you felt like you were used, or what the case may be, did you keep people around just to have somebody in your life? Let me know. And I question myself. It's I went so many years without having friends. Why did I feel like I needed friends then? Why? I always say I don't have any in-person friends. And when I mean that, I mean in person in my life. Because the friends that I consider really good friends, they live out of state, right? So that's what I'm saying. But I have friends that live out of state. When Lexi, when she just the last scare we got, when she had the extra fluid in her brain and stuff. I mean, my one friend Jody, lives all the way across the country. And I told her, and the first thing she said to me was, do you need any money? Do you need anything for parking? What do you need? She says, do you need me to get a hold of DoorDash? She wanted to DoorDash all the way from across the country for my other kids. So that way I didn't stress about what they were going to eat while I was gone with Lexi, because I was in Philly with Lexi. I live in Jersey. What? I have never had any in-person friends ever do that. My friend Lisa, the same thing. I mean, she would stay up to 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning when I was grieving, just talking to me. She has date nights with her husband, and she would tell her husband, all right, give me 5, 10 minutes, if I called and needed her. Of course, I didn't do that when I knew it was date night. I mean, her family is more important. But, I knew she was there for me. I know that. I know if I call Lisa, she will stop everything that she's doing. I never had an in-person friend that, when my mom died or anything, nobody ever came here. Nobody. To say, Ann, come on, let's get out of the house. After the house fire, nobody. When I didn't have heat for 2 years, nobody came and said, let's see what we can do. Let's figure this out. Nobody. Nobody. I haven't even had any friends even ask me what my address is. It's very weird. And I accepted that because as long as I talked to them on the phone, I was okay. Because at least I had them in my life, at least just on the phone. What? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. My friends now, they call me. How are you? How are you doing? When Bella died, my dog, how are you? How's it going? When Nala had her ear surgery every day, how's Nala doing? How are the kids doing? How are you making out with your divorce? How are you? What's going on? That's the type of friends I want in my life, and I'm not going to settle. I'm not talking about associates. I'm talking about friends that I consider a friend. I don't want anybody in my life to, if I, let's say, text you, let's say something's bothering me or something, that you screenshot it and show somebody else. Because that's came back to me. I was shocked when this happened. That's why I always say, stop trusting people. You think people are your friends, but they're not. Because that person might tell somebody else or show somebody else when you tell them not to, and then maybe that other person tells me or shows me. I'm not going to settle. Like when I tell you something, I want it to stay between me and you. I'm not going to settle that if I have issues in my life. I'm not toxic. Just life, and to stand by me and stay by me. Because you never know what can happen to you in your life. You don't know, especially if you're not there yet. And as far as like when I was going through like the empty nest syndrome, even though my kids still live with me, but they're older, they don't need me as much. If your kids are still younger and you're not going through that yet, you may not understand. But one day you will, and then you will understand it. So you never know. And you want your friends to stand by you when you feel like that. But if you don't do that to your friends, don't expect it to happen to you. You know, don't be sad when it doesn't happen to you, I should say. Because you should expect your friends to stand by you, right? If your mother passes or whoever, like, you may not experience that yet. But you will one day. Because that's how life is. And so that's what I mean by that. You know, I'm just not going to settle. And I am happy with who I have in my life. I have some really good friends. I have my friend Jason that you guys met before. We met up in Atlantic City. You know, he lives in New York. Like, we can go months without talking. But then when we talk, it's like nothing. You know, we just talk and catch up, and there's no hard feelings. It's like he has his life, I have my life, and we're just busy. He works, and whatever the case may be. That's what I want. So the point to make this video is, guys, don't settle. If you're anything like me and you feel like you don't have anybody in your life and you don't care who you have in your life, as long as you don't have anybody, as long as you have somebody because you're depressed, no, you could do bad all by yourself. Pick up the Bible. If you're not into religion or anything like that, take a walk. If you can't walk because of your health issues, put music on, watch TV, get a cat or dog. They're the most loyal out of anybody, out of all humans. But you know what I mean? Figure it out. But, you know, start a hobby. And I know it sounds so stupid or so like, you know, but I'm telling you. It's the truth. Since I started doing my yard work after my husband left because he used to do the yard work, it's like so refreshing. When I have my anxiety or something's going on, if I just pick up sticks and put in my wheelbarrow, I'm doing something. I'm getting out. It's nice out. I'm getting that vitamin D, the sun. It just puts me in a better mood. Take a ride to Walmart and just walk the store, walk the mall, get out of the house. You know? You don't need this negativity in your life. Because like I said, sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. Have people in your life that truly care about you. I hope I'm making sense. Hey, let me see how my eagles are doing right now. I have no makeup on, and I do not like this makeup look. I have a little blue here, but and lipstick. I have no eyeshadow. I have no face foundation, no makeup. And I don't have, of course, eyebrow pencil on. But I am not feeling this eye look today. 17-10. We're still losing. I know, Nala. Nala wants to go see the puppy. So I'm going to get off of here, go see the puppy. And yeah, that's everything. Let me know in the comments below if you were like that too, or are you like that, or did you used to be like that? Just settling in your life, regardless if it was friends, if it was in a relationship, what have you. Let me know. Share your stories down below because you might be helping somebody else out, you know? All right, guys, that is everything. My quote for today is, don't settle. You could do bad all by yourself. And the grass is not always greener on the other side. All right, guys, please like this video. It really does help me out. Like this video if you like my coffee talks, and like the video just to help your girl out. If you want to see more videos like this, or some car vlogs, or me just in the house vlogging, or some cooking, or what have you, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also turn your post notification bell on. That way you get notified. Hopefully YouTube notifies you for my future videos. And that is everything, guys. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, stay healthy, and most importantly, always stay you. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys. Nala, come here, baby girl. Dash my baby girl. Dash my baby girl. All right, let's go. Let's go downstairs.